If you ever plan to come to the United States, there's a good chance you are going to need to drive. So in today's English lesson, we are going to learn a little bit about American street signs. I was sitting in the lobby of my hotel here in Vermont, looked out the window and noticed there were a lot of street signs just right outside the window. So I say, let's go out there and talk about those street signs. One thing I noticed as I was sitting at that window is that there are a lot of big trucks going by. But let's talk about, there you go, someone just yelled at us. Let's talk about this first road sign that you might see. It looks like a person walking, right? Well, when you're driving, we call that a pedestrian. And if you are in a car, you need to stop for pedestrians. If they are at a crosswalk, there's a crosswalk right there. You're supposed to stop, but it doesn't look like these cars are stopping. I may just have to run out in front of them. I don't know. But I don't know, sometimes there's a little light to push, but there are no lights here. Let's actually walk down to the next crosswalk because there are lights there. Yeah, in my state of Maine, you have to stop for pedestrians in a crosswalk. Maybe in Vermont you don't have to, because it looked like some of those cars were going to hit me. Before we get to the crosswalk, let's talk about lanes. So this street sign is showing 2 lanes of traffic. Looks like the left lane, if you're there, you can only turn left. You can't go straight. If you want to go straight, you have to be in the other lane, like that gray car right there. 2 lanes of traffic. Now I am going to push this button to let the lights light up. These cars better stop for me. All right, it says it's turning on the warning lights. But look at that, cars are just, they don't care. Cars are just, let's go. Okay, this car's stopping for me. This bus is stopping for me. Looks like I'm not going to get hit as I cross the road, which is a bonus. Thank you. All right, there's a triangle sign over here. It's called the yield sign. Let's talk about what yield means. Okay, yield is not stop. I think there's a picture of a stop sign right across the street there. Yield means if there is nobody coming, you can go. But if there is somebody coming, they have the right of way. So let's pretend we are driving here. We're coming down this lane. We see a yield. There could be traffic coming from this way. If there is, we need to stop and let them go first. But if nobody is here, we can just keep going. We don't have to stop. This side of the road, they have the right of way. They don't have to stop. Oh, here's a yellow school bus. I'm so happy. My school is on vacation this week. I'm filming this in the very early spring. It's like the second week of April. Let's learn another term. This is not a street sign, but that is called hay. There's a lot of hay right near the grass, so it looks like they are trying to grow grass here. What happens in the winter is that on this sidewalk, I'm walking on a sidewalk right now, it gets slippery in the winter, so people will put down salt and sand to make sure people don't slip. Unfortunately, that salt and sand will kill the grass. Right up there are a couple signs that are talking about routes. So it looks like if you take a left, you can get onto Route 7 South. We have something called interstates in the United States. Those are big highways, usually 2 lanes on each side, maybe 4 lanes on each side, maybe more. Vermont is a pretty small state. they don't have too many interstates, but they do have routes. Routes are smaller roads. They might have one lane of traffic going each way. Interstate signs are blue. I'll put up a picture of what an interstate sign is. You can usually go faster on interstates than you can on routes. But that word route in English, sometimes you will hear that pronounced as rut. We have two different pronunciations in the United States for that type of road. Look at that. I don't even think you need to speak English to figure out what that means. You cannot turn right here. Don't even try it. Keep going straight, or maybe you could take a left, but you definitely can't take a right down that street. And why? Well, because it's a one-way. And that is what a one-way street sign looks like. Traffic can only go in one direction. They even have arrows on the road to let you know, hey, don't come down this way. They also have a do not enter sign. Look at this. There's also a statue of some sort. Middlebury to her soldiers. So this looks like it's a statue to commemorate. That might be a big word there for you. Commemorate those soldiers who have fallen in a war. To be honest, the way those soldiers are dressed, it looks like the Civil War, the American Civil War. There are no cars coming this way, so I'm sure you know stop though, right? That's a stop sign. That means you have to stop. You cannot go. You must come to a complete stop. Check for traffic to make sure there is no traffic coming from the other direction. And then once you stop and there is no traffic, you can go. But you can't turn left. You probably know this sign, right? This is a parking spot, and maybe you're going to church here. Unless you have a special license plate that says you are disabled or you are handicapped, you cannot park here. Reserved parking. That means special parking. You can only park here for 2 hours, at least between those two times, from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. If it's before 7 a.m., you can probably stay here for a little bit. And after 6 p.m., you can probably stay here after for more than 2 hours. But I'm pretty sure you can't park here overnight. This is a fire hydrant. Just in case you didn't know, we call that a fire hydrant in English. And be careful, if there is a parking spot near a fire hydrant, you might not be able to park there. A lot of times in the United States, we like to keep the fire hydrants free from obstacles, free from things in the way, just in case there's a fire. You remember when I went to New York City and I couldn't find anything Thai? We were looking for Thai Town and couldn't find it. Well, I come to a small town in Vermont and we found some Thai cuisine. Who knew? Let's talk about this sign. It might be difficult because it's right in the middle of the road, but that sign right there. In the middle, we call that thing an island, and there is a sign letting drivers know, hey, you have an island coming up. Don't hit that thing because it might wreck your car. We have something that might scare some drivers, and this is called either a rotary or a roundabout. We have two terms for it in the United States. And it's basically where the road goes in a circle. So it can be kind of difficult. Here comes a big truck. Let's see what they're going to do. It can be kind of tricky because you need to yield to traffic quite a bit. Remember, you might not need to stop, but if you yield, like this person is yielding to this other person, they are letting them go first, right around this roundabout. All right, no accidents while we're filming. That's good. But these things, I remember as a new driver, I hated rotaries or roundabouts. I hope after this English lesson, you now feel a little more comfortable about driving in the United States. Thanks so much for watching. If you're looking for another English lesson, take a look where I couldn't find Thai Town in New York City.